So what is an AI receptionist or what is an AI CSR and what's the difference between both of them? In this video, I'm going to actually break down the difference between AI CSR and an AI receptionist because if you're a home service business owner, you should know this difference before buying either one of them. Now, if you've been in AI industry around for a while, just like me, I've been very active. I've been using Claude, ChatGPT, etc. You will be aware of these platforms called Vapi, Avoca AI, Retell AI, etc. So these platforms, they are AI receptionists. What they do is, for example, I have Vapi dashboard open in front of me, and let's say I want to configure an AI receptionist. So what I do is I would go here. So an AI receptionist is basically an AI agent which can answer calls for you. It can be after hours when you are just enjoying with your family, or it can be during if you're busy during the day, for example, on any job. And how an AI receptionist works is very simple. So the first thing is there's a greeting message. So when the AI answers the call, what's the first thing that it says? In this case, for example, it's thank you for calling Smile Dental Clinic. This is Sarah. How may I help you? The second thing, which is the prompt is you are guiding this receptionist about your business, like, hey, you are an AI agent for my dental clinic practice or my home service business. Ultimately, you help schedule appointments and stuff. And then you can add some price book files, knowledge, website, documentation, etc. So it can reference that knowledge ultimately. So an ideal world, AI receptionist can automate your calling process. But that is not what all your CSRs do if you're an enterprise. If you're an enterprise business, ultimately, when you receive a call, ultimately, the CSR triages and talks to the person that, hey, what is your issue, what's happening, etc. The talking to the customer part, that can be automated with AI receptionist. But the AI receptionist does not know how to actually dispatch and schedule a job. And if anyone says you and reaches out to you that, hey, we are going to make a custom AI voice agent that books you more job, don't trust them. The reason for that is when you have to actually book a job, there goes like certifications, inventory, routing logic, performance margin, revenue optimization, etc. Dispatching a job is actually an art that has been mastered around your business process. Your dispatcher knows it or your CSR knows it. It's just not opening a calendar, for example, and finding an empty slot and booking it. This is what most platforms like Vapi, Retell AI, etc. are capable of doing. If you are a simple one person, one man shop, then this makes sense. You make a AI receptionist, it books you a job on your Google Calendar ultimately. Or if your job or jobbers receptionist does something same, it looks for slots and it assigns it. But when you are actually an enterprise or a mid-market business, you need something that understands your business or your dispatching logic. Now at FieldCamp, if you don't know what we are doing, we are building an AI dispatcher. AI dispatcher, what it does is you set it the rules ultimately, like how does your shift, travel times, etc. All of these things happen. What's your overtime? What's your fuel management ultimately? Like if you're a grease trap company and if you want to route or if you want to schedule jobs based on how much the tank capacity is, when will it need to be emptied, or if you're a EV maintenance company, you need to take care of the EV's battery life. That's where the capacity comes into picture. What's the revenue optimization? Should the jobs be scheduled based on profit or should it be based on the route ultimately? Then what are the skills required for each job? Like what are the various skills set in your organization, certifications, what type of jobs you do, what each technician can do, which type of jobs can each technician do, etc. You set all these rules. And then what we do is you have a list of jobs, you can directly just send to AI and it dispatches them. And the AI finds the best time ultimately to look at the dispatcher and find a route or a schedule that makes sense. And this can be very complex. This can be, for example, based on all of the criterias like routing and stuff. So if you look at my screen, you will see that how complex a route for a HVAC company, for instance, looks like on a weekly basis, which is my last week. Now, if you have to imagine an AI receptionist on call, figuring out the route and stuff, and then planning and scheduling, it doesn't work because it doesn't have the first of all the resources to do it. And if you make it somehow work based on tying in like thousand different integrations, the call wait time is so long. Like it will say to the customer, like, let me look for a slot. It's gonna go for like 2 to 5 minutes and then come back. Compared to this, what an AI CSR does is AI CSR is a new emerging category. Now, first thing to know about AI CSR is if you're a HVAC or a home service business, you don't just get calls, you get leads from Meta, you get from Google, My Business, for example. People are texting you, people are calling you, etc. Now, you can't afford to have one AI receptionist just present everywhere if because there's no platform first of all that is present everywhere. And if you are able to make it present everywhere, the second question is how do you actually book jobs based on this dispatching logic? So what an AI CSR does is, first of all, AI CSR is present on all of these places, which is omni-channel. And secondly, it understands your business rules like a real CSR. It knows that, hey, for this kind of job, only this technician can do it because they have the right skills, certifications, etc. And then it goes ahead and uses the AI dispatcher, for example, to book the jobs. So our ideal call will look like is if someone calls and says, hey, I would like to book a job, then the AI CSR will say, sure, can you give me details on XYZ? Or if they say, hey, my sink is leaking, for example, then the AI CSR will say, can you text me on this number, send me an image. Then it analyzes the image using the vision models and then says this is gonna like cost you approx $150 to $200. The person says it's fine. AI CSR actually creates an estimate in the system and sends it to the customer. Ultimately customer approves it, then CSR says that, hey, this is fine, now let me look for a slot that works for you. What is the time slot that works for you, or what is the window? Then based on the AI dispatcher over here, you can add windows, for example. So the AI CSR actually calls the AI dispatcher through an API and says that, hey, this customer has this issue. They prefer 9 to 5 in the 9 to 11 in the morning tomorrow. Can you suggest me someone who can go based on this issues or this type of a job? AI dispatcher responds to the AI CSR. This is all in the background. You don't need to worry about the UI because it's AI talking to the AI through API ultimately. And then the customer confirms the slot and it is booked. Now, this is the difference between an AI receptionist and AI CSR. AI receptionist just answers calls. If you have a single calendar like Google Calendar, it finds empty slots and books it. While AI CSR, first of all, it is present in omni-channel, multiple places, and it can actually understand the business logic, use something like an AI dispatcher in the background, and build ultimately schedule more jobs. Now, you will be wondering how is this even possible? This is what we are building at FieldCamp. FieldCamp has 6 superpowers. First is, of course, the ease of use and ChatGPT kind of experience where you can just say, can you show what my day looks like? The second thing is the AI dispatcher. We have been building this product for almost 1 year now, and it does exactly thing I explained to you. So, for example, as I said, the brain behind scheduling. So most receptionists, they have a receptionist layer which actions or takes and like answers users question, but the booking layer is missing. So what we started was we started building the booking layer and then we built the receptionist layer. So most AI receptionists, they are just the entrant in the room, but our architecture is more like a bridge where the dispatch or AI dispatcher powers the AI receptionist. And all of this is possible in FieldCamp, where you can create all these automations, you can take calls, you can get summaries, etc. So if you want to have an AI CSR that can actually book jobs based on skills, routes, etc., then FieldCamp is your option. If you just want a simple out-of-box AI receptionist to book on your Google Calendar or your simple dispatch calendar, then Jobber, Vapi, Retell has those options as well. Thank you.